I read 20 books in the month of February, and here's what I read. All right, I started the month off reading Dark Roads by Chevy Stevens, and this started off really good. It gripped me from the beginning. I was very intrigued by the story, but somewhere along the lines, it became very stagnant and very flat. It was like, what is going on? So I did find myself drifting here and there, and the whole ending was just not very good either, in my opinion. So it was okay. I think it's better suited for a beginner reader. So I did rate this a 3.5 star. Next one was The Chain by Adrian McKinty, and I've heard nothing but good things about this book, so I was super excited to read it. And it's been on my shelf for a while, so I'm like, okay, it's time. And the whole premise of it sounds so good, right up my alley. But the execution just was not there for me. I felt like they could have done so much more with the plot that they had, but it just fell flat and it was just okay. Maybe my expectations were just a little too high. So I did rate this a 3.75 star. The next one, oh, I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed. And the last few books I've read from this author, it's not hitting. It's not hitting, and I think it's just me. I'm evolving as a reader, and it's just I need more from my books. I need more depth. I need more like a connection. And I love a good popcorn thriller, and she's really known for the popcorn thrillers, but this just wasn't it. And it was The Crash by Frida McFadden. Oh, I felt like she's been piggybacking, like literally piggybacking on other authors, and it just gave me the ick. It gave me the ick, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, And I've actually heard that she does that quite frequently or quite often. And in the beginning of my reading journey, I just started reading like less than a year ago. So like really getting into it. And she was great for me getting into reading. And then you just kind of, I don't know, you just kind of educate yourself more. You start venturing out to other authors, writing styles, genres. And yeah, she just is not doing it for me. And I didn't like it. 2.5 star. Sorry. The next one was actually pretty good. It was The Business Trip, and I rated this a 4 star. It was very entertaining. It made me like, it just had me questioning everything. I'm just like, what do these two people have in common? Like, why, like, it feels like two separate books. That's what it started feeling like in the beginning. And then it just snowballs into a holy shit, jaw-dropping, like, twist. It was really good. It was, like, I was gonna rate it a little less than 4 stars in the beginning, towards the middle, and then that ending, yeah, the twist had my jaw on the floor. So I had to bump it to a 4. It was really good. I did enjoy it. All right, and the next one, oh, I was so excited to get. It was actually an ARC. It is currently out now, but it is Shy Girl by Mia Ballard. She is an auto-buy author for me. She writes so poetically. She just explains women's woes so beautifully. And she's known for revenge, she's known for female rage, and she's known for her gruesome horror. And yeah, it was great. It was a fun read. Check your triggers though. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And the ending, I just wish it was just, the ending is just like, I'm telling you, the last couple pages was like, what? No. So I did rate this a 4.75 star. Nonetheless, so good, so short. You will love it. Go check it if you like weird, gruesome, female rage, revenge. Like, you will love it, and you will love her in general. Like, her book Sugar is my favorite. That's her debut novel, and that was a 5 star for me. So very good. Check it out. The next one, I needed just a little bit of a palate cleanser, and I needed something short, sweet, and exactly to the point. And so I found this book on KU called Drown in You. Yeah, Drown in You. It was a sapphic dark romance. And if you know anything about me, I live a good sapphic dark romance. So I read it. It did what I had to do. It was good, not great, but still very much enjoyable if you're looking for a palate cleanser. And I did rate this a 3.5 star. The next read, I was just a very highly anticipated read. I've been wanting to read for a while, so when I got it on my Libby, I said, finally, I can read it. And it didn't disappoint. It was The Other Mistress by Shanora Williams. Oh man, this was so good. This was so good. I just had such a good time. The twists were absolutely crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh, I did not expect that. Related to the female main character, it had mental health rep, which I love and I can relate to, and I love when a book can do that to me. So I did rate this a 4.5 star. This one was another novella, and it is Sawtooth by Steph Nelson. Steph Nelson is also an auto-bi author for me. The final scene is one of my favorite books from her. Loved it. And I have read all the books she's written. This one was her novella, and it was okay. It was kind of like a creature feature. It had a lot of suspense. It had the writing was great per usual. It wasn't the writing at all. It was just the story and the plot for me. It was just like, what the fuck? It was a little like, I don't know, not for me a little bit. He was a little weird, and it was okay. If you're looking for something fun and just like fast, I highly recommend it. The writing style is good. And if you like a little creature feature. But I did rate this a 3 star. Good things about, but I had to make sure I was in the mental capacity that this book has, because it is dark and it deals with like the death of a child, and that is that hurts me right here. Like, I don't like anything regarding that, but I felt myself tearing up multiple times. It was such a good read, and the freaking twist at the end, it was like a triple whammy punch. My jaw, I was staring at the wall. I was literally staring at the wall. I was speechless. 4.5 star. So good. And it was The Next of Kin. So good. Oh my gosh. So the next one is by another auto-bi author. Her name is A.R. Torr, and The Good Lie is my absolute favorite book from her. I have read The Last Party, also very good, unhinged. And this one, I heard good things about it too, so I was kind of excited about it. But I'm sad to say I think it was a little overhyped. And it was The Girl in Apartment 6E. I rated this a 3.5 star. I just felt like being in a room the whole book kind of made me go crazy. I was like, oh my god, I need another, like, it wasn't atmospheric or anything. The female main character was a good time. I liked her. I really enjoyed her. I just wanted more. I wanted more revenge. I wanted more, like, she was this unhinged, supposedly serial killer or whatever, but they just played it a little less than that. Like, I wanted more crazy. So yeah, 3.5 star. It was okay. It just, I don't know, it was a little overhyped. And then this next one, I also have, it's been on my radar for a while, and it was Jackal. I don't know, maybe this wasn't for me, because it was okay. I just did not connect with the plot. I didn't connect with anyone in the book. And then it just got weird. It was kind of like I don't know, a sci-fi creature feature thing. Like, I don't know. It was very confusing to me, and it fell very flat. So it was okay. I think it just, like I said, wasn't for me. And I rated it a 3.5 star. This next one, oh man, was one of my favorites of February, and it is Hungerstone by Kat Dunn. I will forever think about this book. Oh my god. And first of all, the cover is beautiful. I have tabbed a few times. I related so much to the female main character in this book. I loved her. It's a slow pace, gothic, oh my gosh, sapphic. It was so kind of like a spell. Like, it put a spell on you. You wanted to keep reading this. The way it was written so beautifully. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. I just wanted just a little bit more. That's it. I just wanted more from it. I needed more of the vampire-esque moments, because I didn't feel like this book was very vampire, even though it makes you think that it is. Don't expect that this is a vampire book, because that's where I thought, like, going into this book, I was like, oh, a vampire sapphic, like, but it wasn't. It was more like sapphic. It was gothic, set in the 1800s, which, whew, historical fiction. I love me a good historical fiction. And it talked about some really important things, which I love too. So when I finished this book, I rated it a 4 star, but upon like sitting on it and it's been on my brain, I have to bump it to a 4.5 star. Yes, I have to, because it was that good. I loved it. Such a good read. Now, the next one was also a little bit of a dud for me, only because I feel like it is for beginner readers. Very fast paced. The story was good, the storyline, but it's just, kind of like you've been there, done that so many times, you know? It wasn't nothing like groundbreaking. It wasn't a unique story plot or anything, very predictable. So it was still a good time. I did enjoy the writing, but yeah, it wasn't great. And it was someone had to do it. And I rated a 3.5 star. Now, this next one I had to also prepare my mental brain for because of what I hear. And I know it is a sad book, but very important. And I've heard such amazing things that I was like, I finally have it on my shelf. I'm gonna read it. And it is The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. This was exactly what I was thinking it was. A sad, gripping, supernatural-esque elements to that. But yes, it hit my heartstrings. It was a very good read. To me, the only critique I have is it did not need to be that long. It just didn't have to be that long. It was way too long. It could have been at least 100 pages less. But other than that, such a good book. I highly recommend it. I did rate it a 4-star. Next one I read was from my library because I can't find it anywhere unless I buy it. And I really wanted to see if I could find it for free first. And I did. I found it at my library, The Gathering by C.J. Tudor. And this is a vampire book. And this is where vampires and humans coexist. Yeah, see, it got me there. Because I was like, I need to read that. This was just as good as I thought it was going to be. It was so good. I related so much to the female main character. Her, like, commentary is so funny and so relatable. Just such a good time. Such a good time. I rated this a 4.5 star. I definitely wanted more from the vampires and I wanted a little more from the plot, but nonetheless, so good. I definitely recommend this book. Now, the next one is actually a series. And I've heard so many good things about this. So I said, let me take the plunge. They're short, like super short. I actually listened to this on audio in my Hoopla app and they're like 6 to 5 hours long, so 5 hours. So super quick. I finished them in a day, literally. And it is The Arrangement, The Amendment, and The Atonement by Kristen Modulin. Holy shit. The first one, I was in a boxing ring getting punched left to right. That's how fast and twisty this book was. I was just like, what the whole time. It was so good. I rated it a 5-star, the first book. The second book was just as good. I thought it was really good. I just didn't think it was as good as the first one. Not just as good, but it was almost. And I rated it a 4.5 star. It was still very, very good. Now the third one is where it kind of fell flat for me. I was like, okay, this could have been a novella. We didn't need the whole book for this. Like it wasn't, yeah. I just needed to do it to close off the series. But yeah, I wish it was like shorter because it was back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, I rated 3-star. It was okay. But nonetheless, it's on Hoopla. Check it out. If you're needing something to get you out of a slump, that's the perfect series to do it. And then the last one that I read was Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. Oh my God. Alice Feeney is one of my favorite authors. Hands down, one of my favorite authors. I love the cover. I loved the synopsis to this book. And I rated this a 5-star. Now, the only critique I would say is that this book, the last, I swear, like 5 pages, I wish were different. I wish this book ended a little differently. It was like, okay, it was okay. I just wanted a little more of like a leave your jaw on the floor and look at the wall ending. Like coming from Alice Finney, like that's what I expect. But nonetheless, still so beautiful. This is the most I've ever tabbed the book. I related so much. I read these tabs over and over and over again. That's how good and how connected I felt to this book. And the story, it was a slow burn, but in the most beautiful way. This is the kind of slow burn I enjoy. And the vibes, everything, like the atmosphere, the setting in Scotland on an island. Oh my God, I just felt it. I literally felt like I was transported. And when a book does that to me, I'm sorry, you're a 5-star. You're a 5-star, baby. So yes, this and Hungerstone were my favorite books of February. And The Arrangement, oh my God, it was just so good. Towards the end, it was just like such a good month. Those are the books I read in February. Let me know what your favorite book of February was, and let me know what videos you would like to see.